Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. And this is the New York Jets training camp preview featuring Afram. This is Afram's training camp preview, not mine. I'm just here to get along. I think you're muted, dude. Afram, you live, man? Yo, Afram. Yo, Afram. Afram. Yo, Afram. Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody? Afram. Is it my sound or is it his sound? I don't know whose sound it is. Oh my God. Oh, it's Afram's side. Man, what are we doing? What a disaster this is. What is he doing? Oh my God. Well, what's up, everybody? How are you guys all doing? Afram is lost. I'm on, and he's supposed to be our IT guy. And I could see him, and he's just... I can hear you.
Interesting.
I hear you, dude.
What's going on here? I don't see any. You hear me, but I don't see anything.
I hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Let me go out and come back in.
What are we doing here? This is a disaster. What a disaster. An absolute disaster.
Coming in?
Now you're coming in.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was just a black screen.
So listen, Afram, I give you this primetime Monday night
Don't
spot,
blame me.
8 o'clock. This is your exclusive training camp preview.
Oh.
This is it. We had all these people. You're like, listen, I want to share to people my thoughts on the upcoming season. And the first 4 minutes is dead air.
Well, you were on.
Yeah, but you're the special guest. All I do is, just try to ask questions around here.
Well, anyway, that's right, James. Anyways, let's get this show started.
Well, Afram, before we're getting started, how is your summer going, man?
It's hot. It's hot, and it's hot. And working and coming home and working. That's it. Nothing spectacular.
Are you
watching the Jets news and looking forward to this weekend?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you guys for joining us. Just so everybody knows, we're back every week, man. I'm back every night, every Monday night, 8 o'clock. Ian and I rotate every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, each other's channels. Be streaming games, got some other cool things set up. So just you guys know. Let's see. Some afterburners. I will tell you this, Yo Holmes, moving is a pain in the ass. I'm not even fully done yet. Moving, especially in this heat, We had to move like all the couches and the furniture. Me and my buddy, it was like friggin' 105 degrees of humidity. After I'm dying, dude. I don't want to move ever again.
You don't realize how much stuff you have until you move.
So after we have baseball season's kind of, the All-Star break's coming up. It's kind of like the doldrum of baseball season where everybody's waiting for the playoff push. But now the Jets report tomorrow. So now it's like football season is literally around the corner where training camp's around the corner. Everybody's reporting. All the players are signed. Sauce's deal is done. Garrett's deal is done. There is literally nothing to talk about with the Jets in terms of drama. There's no off-the-field shenanigans. It's like a very quiet offseason, an offseason that kind of gives you where it's confidence that Muji knows what he's doing in terms of getting deals done. It's just quiet, man. It's refreshing.
Isn't it nice? We know no headlines, just doing our thing.
And getting little subtle pieces of credit for Muji being proactive, getting Garrett and Sauce done. How Justin Fields is kind of working in silence, nobody saying anything. There's just literally no drama, no fanfare, no crazy T-shirt slogans, no big brash talk out of the team. It's just all work, and no words, which is perfect.
Yeah, get those 2 contracts out of the way. No talk about contract negotiations. It's over and done with. No, you get the stories when they're going to sign Sauce, when they're going to sign Garrett, who gets signed first. Are they talking this and that? They should sign him now, get it over with. Oh, they should wait till the end of the season. It's done. It's good. And they got him early, got him at the right time, and got the salary the way they had to get
100%.
it. But in 2 years, that $30 million is going to mean nothing because the prices are going up. You already saw what they did. The Karlaftis got with that, $23 million for 4 years.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like you look at everybody's worried about the money now. The cap space now is fine. And when these contracts kick in, they're all going to be undervalued. They're going to be lower value. Like Sauce won't be the highest paid corner in football. Garrett's not going to be a top 5, top 10 receiver. It's like it's all, and they're tied to the Jets till 2030. That's all you could ask. And then now it's like a part of me thinks that you try to find a way to get Quincy Williams done. And a couple of years to his deal. Jermaine Johnson, you could wait a year because he's coming off a major injury. Right. Brees. We'll see what happens to Brees, but I'm like,
I think McDonald also, right, is in a year as on 20.
Yeah, but I mean, but this like in terms of like urgent friggin' contracts, I think it's like Quincy to me, especially the way Aaron Glenn talked about him as a captain of the team and like this vocal leader and emotional captain. If you're gonna make that, give him all that pressure and all those accolades, give him a couple of years, man. He's still playing at a very high level of football. It's like why not keep him around? You don't, I think that's probably why make it. Well, you gave Jamie Sherwood $15 million a year. Right. So he's under. Yeah, he's younger. He's but I mean, what do you Jets? You have cap space, dude. Do you maybe give him a little overpay to keep him happy here, and keep Quinnen happy too?
What is he now making? $3-4 million?
No, well, you're the cap guy.
No, I don't remember the salary. That's cap. Cap they have slightly under 30, but I don't know if he's what is he? I know it could be around 7 or 8.
I think he's like more. I think he's higher than that Quincy Williams contract.
Yeah,
I think he's higher than that. Yeah, I think he got 3 years, $18 million. So potential to reach 21 through incentives. Let's see, we got her. So this year he's making. Okay, this year's making 6.5.
Yeah. So it's basically so 7.
Yeah. So
bring up to 11.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you can even go up to 10, I do it. Why not?
You think he'd take it?
Well, that's a good question. Does he want to stay here and be, or what? The question is, what is his value on the open market after this season? And that's the whole thing. And that's why you can make a case. If he was one of the guys, he could have held out and be like, you know what? In the last year of my deal, I want more money. He didn't do that. He was a good team player and he came in. So
agents got to tell him, hey, you wait till the end of the season to try to get more money. You're another year older.
Yep. And
your value is not going to be as much as, if you get what you can now. Don't do a Pete Alonso and try to turn down a big contract because you want to and end up doing a 1-year thing.
Well, yeah,
2 years is some.
But also you got to figure too, it's like they may want to see him in this defense too. Like, listen, we have a vision for you in our defense. Let's see how he does in defense. If he takes off and plays, sideline to sideline, makes huge impact plays. You know what? They may say 3 weeks from now, we're going in week 4 or 5. Like, you know what? We want to keep you around for a couple of years. You've shown us exactly what we thought, what we thought we knew about you, and now we can give you the money.
And then you have a solid linebacker core.
Yeah,
instead of
100%.
trying to put somebody else in the last minute.
So, I mean, but
Hey.
like right now, like the media, I think going into training camp, which is they're all reporting tomorrow. What's the biggest talking point? There is literally your talking points could be Justin Fields, the play of Justin Fields, and I guess Aaron Glenn's ability to establish a culture. We think he's done a good job. Like he seems like he's on the right path. But I think now when you see it in training camp where he's holding guys accountable, they're going to be in pads because when right now in like at OTAs and mandatory minicamp, you're not in full pads. Then I think you learn a lot more once you see what he's really about, how he handles these players, how he handles adversity was something he talked about where right now it's all, you already saw injuries with the Lions. Like there's injuries are going to happen. How did the Jets handle that? That's, I think, the talking points. Because other than that, the Jets are not a story at all, which is great.
Right. They could just focus on training.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to see they'll probably look to see if this offense, whatever Engstrom does, see if it starts to click with the players, if they understand what he wants and they're making it happen, or front line, is it giving time for the quarterback to make the play, to hold off the defense, and is the defense can they stop the run? There's a lot of answers. There's a lot of things they have to check. But like you said, like I always say, iron sharpens iron.
Well, the thing is, too, I'm really curious to see if they do actually have training camp battles. Is Tippmann going to be battling Myers? Are there any positions up for grabs that may surprise us? I mean, the safety position could be up for grabs because you don't really know what's going on back there. They have Cisco, but there could some rolling pieces there. But what other spots on the team really are up? Like, there's nothing really. Wide receiver,
wide receiver, no. Second, wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 1 is established. Cornerback 1 is established.
Well, the wide receiver 2 and 3 could be up for grabs. I mean, everybody's assuming Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard, but maybe they get beat up by somebody. Maybe Aaron Smith steps up, or Malachi Corley becomes something if he's healthy.
Yeah, and Glenn has to set that atmosphere that you have a shot.
Yep.
You have a shot at this. Make it happen.
Yeah,
nothing's guaranteed. They kind of know, the players kind of know who's going to start as far as the top players, but they're in a situation, like you said, there's no wide receiver 2 that's locked down.
Yep.
There's no tight end that's locked down, really, even though they're going to probably lean towards the rookie. But
that's the thing. Like if you look at the offense, I think my biggest concern is you have running backs that are, you feel comfortable with the running backs. You like Fields. You like Tyrod Taylor as the backup. Wide receiver, so many unknowns. Tight end group, so many unknowns because it's like we had Stone Smart, no idea what he is. Right. Jeremy Ruckert, you're hoping that he becomes something with, chemistry Justin Fields, but he has a long way to go. Maybe this coaching staff gets something out of him. Mason Taylor, great talent, rookie. Like that, the unknown in the passing game is the only thing. If I had like a story to watch in training camp, it's that, and it's the pass rush. That's the two things I'm most curious about because, or even stopping the run. But like you look at offense, wouldn't that be your concerns?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you need to know who's going to be catching the ball, who you can depend on.
That's the most important thing. Depend on
who can grasp the offense better and understand the system. Defensively, you want a pass rush, but you also want to see who's in the middle that can work next to Quinnen. To who's going to step up there. All right.
Yep.
Jermaine, I know they put him on PUP, but they're probably just taking it easy with him, not
100%
rushing him in. But you also want someone that's going to come in, to relieve him, maybe just in case he needs to take a breather. You want to see who's going to step up as a backup defensive end.
That's the thing too. It's like if you look at the defensive line, you're trying to figure out who's your run stuffing defensive tackle. And then if you're looking at a defense, it's going to be predicated on rushing the passer. Okay, if say Jermaine Johnson, he's on a pitch count, which I'm not opposed to that. I don't want to see him blown out week 1, week 2, like the Jets used to do when they poorly handled players. Okay, if he's going to be on a pitch count and Will McDonald's your other guy, who's behind him? What if God forbid Will McDonald gets hurt? Who's behind him? Like, where's your pass rush coming from? Unless it's going to be like, you know what, sell your soul and blitz like crazy.
Yeah, that's what Rex ended up doing, right?
Yep.
But this guy is known for blitzing quite a bit as well.
Yeah. Well, it depends because they wouldn't show their hand because they're smart though. They said Steve Wilkes is like, I think Rich Cimini was like, oh, based on your history, this is what you do. He's like, don't assume you know what we're doing. You don't know what we're doing. So maybe they're going to mix it up based on what their talent is. I don't know.
Yeah, and they got to see what kind of talent they have basically that can
Yep.
execute and rely on to see who could come in. And I think that's going to be established. They're going to see who's going to be number one, number two, number three.
Yep.
The org chart of basically who's the number two guy, number three guy, and who's going to step up. And those, I think, are the positions where there's going to be the most competition.
No, I agree.
It's the backup positions, and who's going to stay and who's going to grow,
And who's gonna rise, maybe elevate their game. Like, on a defensive line, most of us, including myself, have written off Michael Clemens. Like, I want him out of here. I'm tired of the penalties. I'm tired of the bad angles. I'm tired of the bad tackles. Like, I'm over it. Like, his experience with me is over. But maybe he's the kind of player that Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes get through to, and they make him a much better player where he's more competent, more physical, and actually becomes a contributor. That could be something that could surprise us.
You have to think, because everyone in the world is wondering why he's still on the team.
I don't understand.
So they must see something, or they may say, hey, they looked at film and said they just had this guy playing out of position, not knowing what he's doing. And a lot of things we have to also consider. We established a baseline based on last year's team and coaching, which we shouldn't do, because we just don't know what this new staff is going to do. Could be a whole change, and actually, it can dominate. It could play a lot better than last year, depending on what they have. So we can't use that as a baseline, because the defense was a total mess, confusion, all the play, and horrible coaching. I mean, I've never seen it that bad before.
Yeah, no, that's the thing too. It's like in many situations, we may not know what we have. Like Malachi Corley is a disappointment because he didn't play last year and he's been hurt too, which sucks. But it's like a lot of these young defensive players, whether it's Taylor, Watts, all these young guys, maybe everybody, they're so highly touted, like, oh, undrafted free agents, all these, maybe this coaching staff, and that's I guess I'm really guilty of this a lot. Is I'm so down on last year's staff that I think improved coaching will pay such huge dividends for this team, because it's just you saw it last year. They didn't know their ass from their elbow. They and they haven't probably quit if they knew they're being poorly coached.
Exactly. They're probably confused what's going on, looking at each other.
Yep.
Why are we doing this? And now they start seeing some sense of normality of a real coaching staff. And now they have some optimism going in.
Yep.
And some of these guys probably, like Taylor and all these other guys that we saw bits and pieces, maybe they get a chance. They didn't get much of a chance. They just were thrown into the system and unprepared, and they didn't look, the glimpses, but it wasn't, so let's see, everyone right now we're in the unknown, but like I've said, it's an exciting unknown, because
I'm
they're doing everything right.
I'm very excited, dude. Like this is, excuse me, this is a young team where there's potential, and it's a team that's going to work hard. They're going to compete, blue collar mindset, and I like that. And they may be nasty too, which is great. And it's like how could you not root for a young team with no drama? Like that's what you want. Like last year was like halfway through the season, I was over it. I was over all of this. Like I knew it was a disaster. So now you turn the page, you embrace it. Hopefully you find something here. But the one thing I'm most curious about is how Aaron Glenn handles the media with Justin Fields throughout training camp. When he had the bad practice and Tyrod plays well, because he's been pretty curt. He's been pretty short. People are like, listen, how he's been. He's kind of stern and kind of little nasty with the media. But there's nothing more the Jets media likes than quarterback controversies or quarterback competition and everything else. And then, or when they already had the preconceived notion that he stares down receivers, he's inaccurate. I'm really curious to see how Aaron Glenn handles all that.
I think he's up till now. He's been doing great, and I don't think he's not going to be like Salah, who's one way here and then in front of the cameras. He's going to tell it like it is, and will tell him what he wants them to know.
Yep. No, it's
take it or leave it.
Because that's literally the only story of camp is going to be the Jets quarterback position. There's nothing else to talk about. There's no contract like this, so it's like, how does he handle it? It seems like Fields is just very quiet. When he meets the media, he's very quiet, doesn't say much. He's just like
professional.
Yep, hardworking.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So now, if you had to say what's one position group you're going to watch the most, I'm most curious about in training camp, what is it?
It's got to be wide receivers for me.
Yeah.
I got to see what who's coming up number 2. Who's going to step up. And we'll know if it's a true competition to see how many reps each guy gets.
Yep.
You know, if they keep one guy, then you're gonna get a feeling that this is the guy that they're looking to name number 2. But you know, if he sets that tone that, you know, it's your time, make the best out of it,
Yeah.
and someone steps up, you know.
And
Good.
the one thing I'm curious about is that I think over the last 3 months between OTA's mandatory minicamp, it's been an assessment. They inherited this team. They're trying to figure out what the hell they have, looking at the new free agents, looking at the draft class, and trying to like assess, okay, listen, we think we know what we have here, but now the pads are going on. Now you can actually figure it out. And I'm curious what they do once they know what they have. Like, say they brought the wide receiver group, and it's just Malachi Corley's been hurt. Say, you know, Aaron Smith's good, but still needs potential. Does Muji go out and make a move? Like, does he say, okay, listen, now we've given a couple weeks of camp. Now we get aggressive and go sign somebody else, or trade for somebody. You know, defensive line's not what we want. Like, because they have plenty of cap space, dude. They have plenty of time to maneuver now. Do they do that, or do they stand pat with their guys? And I'm hoping that they are aggressive, not for the sake of we're trying to go to Super Bowl, but you want the best, most competitive team as possible. Don't back down and keep that mindset. You know what I mean?
Don't be stubborn, basically.
100%. And that was Joe Douglas's biggest problem.
Yeah. The question is who's available. You got 2 that we've always talked about, Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper, right?
Yep.
And they haven't shown maybe 1 or 2 players that they've gotten over 30 years old, 30 or slightly above. So,
but if it fits, like, and I understand what you're saying, they've been going with the youth movement. But if it fits a hole, like, you know, like, just say for example, like a Jadeveon Clowney kind of player, that kind of guy. But when you know what he brings to the table as a veteran guy, savvy guy, that can maybe even help your younger players develop too and mold,
become a leader.
100%. That's. I'm hoping that the Jets stay aggressive in training camp. They don't stand pat, but they're like arrogant.
Yeah, they got to sell it to the player.
Yep.
Because they know coming in that, you know, this is a young team, new head coaching staff. Do you want to come in, become a mentor, give it all, show them what it's like, you know, to be a pro, or you're going to wait for that team that's going to call you because someone's got hurt, and you go to that playoff bound, or, you know, that they need that extra player to cover for a guy who got hurt. You know, you don't know.
But what do you think is the league perception of the New York Jets right now? Like, they say, okay, listen, if I'm a free agent, say I'm Amari Cooper. Okay, what is my perception of the Jets right now? Is it a team that's on the rebuild that has talent, maybe going in a new direction? Yeah, I saw the one ESPN ranking today. I think the Jets had the 29th worst roster in the NFL. Like, what do you think free agents think about them?
I think they're going to look. They're going to say, "Hey, you got a new coaching staff. We don't know what they have." In their minds, it's probably a rebuild. I'm not here for a rebuild. Yep. You know.
Do you think players on offense, a free agent player on offense, would respect Justin Fields as a quarterback, or he's a hindrance?
No, I think they respect him. I don't know. Do they want to play? I think the biggest thing is do they want to play with a team that's the mindset is it's a rebuild? Don't expect, you know, you're going to the playoffs. You know, are you there knowing, you know, do you have a shot at some other teams? You know, am I going to hold out to see if if this other team is going to, you know, sign me, I can make some more money? Or you also have to look at, as a player, where do you rank amongst available free agents? You know,
well, but
do you think this guy going to be picked before me, or how many guys before me are going to get picked before? Let me grab something where I can make some money. Maybe I do a 1-year deal if I still have enough, young enough. I'll work as hard as I can and basically do my, you know, highlight film for my next year with the next team.
But do you think did the league view or free agents view the Jets as a 4-win team or an 8-win team? Like, what do you consider? Are they like a middle of the pack team or lesser than that?
Probably 5-6 win team.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Brian here, man. I think Tyrod Taylor is an X factor. I think it could keep people, like, the quarterback position is not as bad as I think people think it is. That's just my, I guess, view of that. But going back real quick to this comment here, where is it? I actually moved, man. I'm working on my setup still. I got to figure out the lighting and everything else, but I did move. So, in terms of who's getting paid next, I'm hoping it's Quincy Williams. That's my hope.
Don't expect the Breece Hall to get paid. I don't think they're going to hold out of it.
I don't think so either.
Best bet, if anything, depends. They'll franchise tag him if they want to still keep him.
Yeah, I mean, and tight end position, I'm not opposed to bringing a veteran there, because you can't as
He's
much as
27, Fent.
yeah,
He's
I
young
mean,
enough for that team.
especially when your Rucker is a relative unknown at this point. You Mason Taylor unknown, Stone Smart unknown. I mean, there's not a lot there. If you want to bring in a veteran that can kind of like Mercedes Lewis is about 8,000 years old, but I'm not opposed to it, dude, at all.
If they start training camp, and then later on they sign Noah Fent, that kind of puts the kibosh on record because they don't see anything with him.
Yep. No, I completely agree, dude. Completely agree with you.
They just don't see. They're going to give up on him at this point because he hasn't progressed at all. Then.
So now this is a very exciting Monday night as we're going through Afram's training camp preview. This is Afram's exclusive content. He was going to give this content to Afterburners, but he gave it to me. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed.
So in other words, if the show is lousy, blame it on me, not on Tyson.
No, this is a Monday night Afram exclusive. And then when I told him this, then somebody else wanted to challenge you. So what's up, Bubs?
There he is. He's the man.
Thanks for having me on, Tyson. Nice setup. Afram, how's it going?
Good, Bubs. How are you?
Wait, does that mean you don't like Afram's setup? He could have put like something over his books or something, right?
I like the dark and
But I think see now
all my stuff is over here.
If Afram had books back there, like how to understand the salary cap and like NFL contract manipulation, like if there was like NFL books behind him, it'd be a little bit nicer. But I mean, this is what we're dealing with here.
There's a woodworking books. That's my my hobby.
Are you building the locker room?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm building a locker room.
How you doing, Bubs?
Doing pretty good. Excited. Got training camp. Always a fun time. Training camp. It's, one of the high points typically. So it's
No, don't bring your negativity into the show, dude. This is a whole new year. We're not going to go down this path already.
Who's going that early? That's a good question.
So what's your biggest storyline, Bubs, going to training camp right now?
I mean, it's really just Glenn and this new coaching staff, seeing what they look like. It's nice to not have any drama, right? This time last year, we were just entering the Hassan Reddick nonsense, right? When he held out, and then shortly after the trade request came. So it's nice to see that the Jets are acting like grown-ups. You get the 2 contracts done with Garrett and Sauce, so those aren't looming over your head. Even the Mason Taylor stuff, too, with all the second-round picks around the NFL, that was nice. Day before rookies reported they got that done. So it's nice that there's no drama. Glenn has talked about working in silence. They went throughout the offseason in silence, and you enter training camp in that same way. So in terms of storylines, it's just, implementing this culture. I think I'm interested to see how these practices are. I think they're going to be physical. They're going to be competitive. Glenn talked about, just the importance of tackling, right? I know that's very simple, but it's something that under Saleh, a lot of those practices were very kind of just not a whole lot going on, not very physical. Glenn's got that old school mindset, going back to kind of the ties to Parcells, of course. So I think practice wise, you're going to see a difference in energy, difference in competitiveness. Glenn talks about
detail.
Yeah, exactly. Glenn talks about too, just players being nasty, all that stuff, embodying that. You kind of mentioned earlier, Tyson, that blue collar type of play, that blue collar style. So that'll be good to see. And I think too, just how does his coaching staff, like we talk about some of the question marks of some of these positions. Are we seeing early on? Can we see early on this coaching staff elevate some of these guys, some of these question marks? I think that's something to look at, especially, just throwing out the receiver room, right? Some young guys, Tyler Johnson has flashed a little bit, but hasn't been able to put it all together. Arian Smith, the rookie's got a lot of work on. Can you see Arian Smith from day one of training camp where he's just really that track star? Can you see him go from day one to the end of the preseason where you're starting to see him catch the ball a little bit better? You're starting to see him his route running become a little bit more crisp and see some more growth. Same thing with Malachi Corley. Can they get anything out of him? All those things, I think, they're looking forward to seeing what
even the defensive line depth. Look at all these young, between Wilkes and Aaron Glenn, all these young defensive players. If you can get something out of them for that'd be a blessing because they need it. We talked about this earlier with Afram. Like you're like one Will McDonald injury away from being like, all right, a lot of pressure on Jermaine Johnson to rush him back quicker or whatever else, and you don't want to be in that position. Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought up the defensive line too, because you obviously have the battle next to Quinn in the D2 spot, but also or the DT2 spot, but also you have edge, like you mentioned, behind Will McDonald.
Yep.
Who emerges out of there, it's going to be interesting. With Jermaine on PUP list, he's going to be off to kind of easing back into it the first couple weeks.
Yep.
Does Tyler Barron emerge? What do you get out of Clemens? I'm kind of with you guys. I'm over Clemens, but is this a coach? Obviously they see something in him that he's still on this team entering training camp. And maybe this is a coaching staff that can get more out of him, but even a Watts and McGregor, either of those guys who shined last year, can one of them potentially emerge here at that edge spot? Barron's interesting because I think Barron, 5th round pick, if he can eventually take over that Michael Clemens role, I think that's a plus. That's a positive to get that in day 3 as that rotational piece. So I'm interested in seeing what he can do, maybe as that Clemens replacement. But yeah, there's some questions up front on defensive line, no doubt.
Yeah, no, that's the defensive line you worry about. You worry about the wide receiver group, the safety group. It'll work itself out.
Yeah,
and I think the other story, I just keep thinking it's going to be the media is going to be searching for something. It's going to be Justin Fields. They're just going to start. They're just going to harness all their energy on him and say, okay, listen, is he inaccurate? Is he holding on the ball too long? How is this offense running? And especially if Tyrod Taylor's playing well. I think there's a portion that's after, don't you think? There's a portion of this media because the Jets are so boring right now that they're hoping Tyrod is lights out and make just chaos or something.
Yeah, no, they're going to look for something. They'll look for Stevens on the corner to see if he gets beat.
Yep.
Okay. Why did you pay a guy that much money and he's not he's getting beat every play? Yep. They're going to look for something because they got to write stories.
Because there's nothing. There's no headlines. What's your biggest headline right now? Aaron Glenn cursed out a player. Nobody we love that. Nobody's going to care about that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. It's very they're boring right now in terms of the stories and stuff. These last couple years and just overall, that hasn't been the case. And you even saw some of it during the OTs and minicamp, where there's a couple plays where Fields held on to the ball too long, and it was certainly brought up just in their reporting and stuff. So that's gonna be something, right? If he has a bad practice and Tyrod goes out there and lights it up, yeah, it'll be interesting because Fields is gonna have some bumps. No doubt.
The thing is, the thing that pisses me off the most with that is we're forgetting that it's a whole new staff.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a new quarterback in the new system. There's so many moving parts here. Like the criticism, I'm not giving him a pass, but the criticism early on is not going to be fair because it's a work in progress. If this is going on week 6 of the season, then you're like, all right, this is ridiculous. But throughout training camp's time to learn, gain chemistry with your teammates, figure out the offense, figure out what works, what doesn't work. It's like you want to see the misses in training camp so you don't miss during the season. Don't put the quarterback in a position where he's scared to make mistakes in practice because that's when the shit hits the fan. Right?
Correct issues and all that.
Yeah, that's the kind of where I hope that Aaron Glenn has that stance. Listen, we're going to make mistakes here, but you make mistakes so you can learn to get better. You can't say, "Oh, he threw 3 interceptions today. We got to bench him. He sucks." No, and that's what Saleh would do. He answered these stupid questions with stupid answers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Saleh he got eaten alive with the media, and that's one thing so far with Glenn. It's been he's handled it very well. He's kind of got that little bit of that sort of nastiness towards the media, which I think is good. That's what they need. Saleh turned into just all the slogans. He talked himself in circles for like a minute and a half, and he was trying to be the media's best friend, and that obviously blew up, especially when you're not winning. So
we got who do you boys think will take the biggest leap this year that will surprise us? I'm going to say Braylon Allen. I think Braylon Allen is going to get more opportunities, and behind this offensive line, I think he's going to maul people and become a very big contributor. I would say either him or Mason Taylor, but I think Braylon Allen's going to be the guy. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Allen. Both of them, even Isaiah Davis too, could I think sneaky have maybe a little bit of a bigger role, but Braylon's good. Obviously, the 6'1", 235. I mean, he's still so young, 21. He couldn't legally buy a drink during his entire rookie year. That big thumper, that kind of change of pace, short yardage behind Breece. Taylor, I think just looking at the offensive line, I think Olu could have a big year.
Could be.
And I'll even throw Tittman out there. I'm not really buying into the whole Josh Myers center competition. Tittman to me is just so much better. I doubt he loses it, but Tittman rated out in a lot of areas as top 10 last year. I think there's a chance he inserts himself even deeper into that this year. Offense line just as a whole. I'm looking forward to seeing.
You got to give him competition. You got to let him think that there's someone behind his ass.
Which is good. Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
You didn't have to pay him that much either, and he can fill in. You know, he's an experienced center, so you got that. That's very helpful to have. I want to see on special teams who competes with Xavier Gibson as far as the punt return and kickoff.
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
see
who the hell our freaking kicker is?
Caden Davis, and I hope it's the thicker kicker. I'm rooting for him.
Me too. That's what I'm rooting for. That's what I want to.
No
100%.
real reason. It's just the name. And I don't know who's going to win. That and the punter. All four of them never kicked an NFL game, so it's truly unknown. But I'm hoping
this whole
it's
thing's
Davis.
unknown, man.
Yeah.
This whole
Yeah.
thing's
Yeah.
unknown.
That's very true.
All right. I'll throw. You mentioned Gibson, the punt returner. Jamal Pritchett's somebody that I'm watching for. He's the UDFA. He's one of the. Every year you always have those kind of the UDFAs that always stand out. Last year it was the McGregor Watts. Year before it was Brownlee Gibson. I think Pritchett could potentially be this year's Gibson. Emerges and then takes a role in special teams. He had a good couple returns last year. He was used punt returner in college, and had a good spring. Arian Smith too is another one that he was taking some special teams reps during the spring. So a couple of those young guys, the rookies.
It's safe to say that position is going to have a lot of competition because they're not just going to stick with Gibson.
Definitely. And Banjo seems also just the Westhoff tree. He seems like one of those guys that's going to preach competition as well. He likes that.
And Aaron Glenn makes it a priority too. He puts a premium on special teams. He doesn't like mail it in. Like it's funny. Lucas said this, and that's something that we used to make fun of that in practice. Like the kickers would never kick. The guys would all stand around picking their nose, just kind of doing like light drills. It was ridiculous. And Aaron Glenn's going to completely change that mindset because there's a lot of hidden yards and hidden plays in special teams. So it's like they're all being coached up, and definitely a lot of competition there for sure.
Yeah, special teams is one of those positions where you don't really know how good you have it until you don't have it. Like you don't realize how much of an impact it has on games until you have a terrible special teams. And we saw that last year, right? 2023 was so good last year. It was cost us a couple games. So
Zerline.
And I think it's nice that they're going with the youth movement too. Like we talked about this a couple of times, the Morstead, Zerline, like they're older, move on. Let's get some fresh blood there, young blood. Who knows? Maybe you stumble upon your kicker for.
But the one thing this does, not to be negative, but just to be honest, it puts a premium on the coaching staff. It is putting a lot of pressure on the coaching staff saying, listen, you're going with the young guys. We embrace it. You're going with competition. Cool. We love that too. You better be able to coach them up. Right after them. If you don't, if you go with the youth movement and they're not getting coached up, this is going to be a complete disaster. You've got to be a high level coaching to this team because they're impressionable. It's year one. That's how you develop your culture. And that's how you develop your scheme going forward.
Yeah. And I think they knew that going in because they went after all these young players as well.
They better be good coaches, man.
They're confident. Yeah, well, I think they have the confidence in doing so.
And even too, just the two free agent signings in the back end, like Cisco and Stevens. Cisco's coming off of a rough year. Stevens coming off a rough year. Two guys that they're banking on their staff to bounce back and get back to where they were. More so Cisco. Cisco, first 3 years in Jacksonville was really good. I think last year might have been more of a product of all the issues that went on in Jacksonville.
I agree.
Stevens, it's the problems that hurt him last year have hurt him over and over again. So a little bit more coaching on that end. But yeah, you're totally right. They are putting, especially wide receiver room as well. I mean, there's a lot of young guys there. Like there's a lot to ask for getting more out of Malachi Corley. Like it's a big ask. Same thing with, Arian Smith, who's got a lot of work on. So it's definitely coaching.
That's what training camp is for. That's what the coaches are there for.
Yep.
Yeah.
To fix those mistakes and coach them up and then, show them how to correct it and make sure they do it. I just want to see headlines that this is not the same practices that Saleh used to run. These
it's already you already saw examples of that where he was literally going in the practice, going in each huddle. He was actively involved in each huddle, each position group, like he wasn't sitting there on the sidelines, Saleh used to do like all that. He was actually actively involved everywhere, like in the offensive huddle, like giving insight and giving technique help.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I remember there was a couple reports. First day of rookie minicamp, they were very vocal, and that's rookie minicamp. Most of those guys didn't even make it past those 3 days, and they were coaching it up. And it's also just it was nice they were practicing during the spring. So many times Saleh they wouldn't practice during mini camp. They would just do meetings, and then they canceled last year. Was it last year? Maybe the year prior, because the early Hall of Fame report when they had the Hall of Fame game, they canceled the last day or 2 days of mini camp. Like just weird things, like who practicing during mini camp, like just the little things was refreshing out of Glenn that we saw from Saleh, which is nice.
Well, the fact that they all showed up, that's big.
So, Bubs, one last question for you. What are your thoughts on the Sauce and Garrett extensions, and who do you think gets paid next, if anybody?
I like it. I'm happy about it. Is lock up your 2 cornerstone pieces. It's nice to see that happen finally, right? For a while, Jets have either not had the young talent or let the young talent go. So it's nice to get ahead of it, not wait any longer. In terms of next, Quincy's certainly out there. I know you guys were talking about that earlier, and I'll throw another 2. Simpson and AVT, both are up after this year. Simpson or AVT obviously on the 5th-year option, and then Simpson on the 2nd year of this 2-year deal. I could see one of those happening during the year. There's a chance they're going to have to probably pick between one of those 2 guys. If I had to predict, it's probably Simpson that they would extend.
Yep.
He's probably a little bit better, and I just think that's probably the route they would go.
Plus the injuries that AVT has had.
Yeah, he's definitely. I would throw Simpson in there. Maybe something that gets done during the season. I agree with both of you. I think this is probably it for Breece. Maybe they franchise tag him, but then there's a real chance that this is his final year. I think he's going to have a good year. Even with Braylon and if Isaiah Davis have good years, like I think the Jets are going to move forward without paying a premium there. So, Simpson, AVT, and even Quincy. And it does speak a lot, too, to Quincy that he's here. He could easily be holding out, especially after seeing Sherwood's contract.
Yep.
It shows, it's good on him to still show up all throughout the offseason and now, of course, camp. So those would be the next ones. And then Jermaine and all those guys, that's more down the road future.
I agree.
A little bit further than just this year, or that's down the road, not really near future. So
this is Afram's training camp preview. This is his exclusive. Afram, how would you assess Bub's performance here? I know you're very critical.
Top notch.
See, Bubs, he's very critical of our guests, and he just always
you're the critical one.
He's always scrutinizing people. So now that this is his training camp preview show tonight, I just make sure that we're making him
do like everyone else. Ignore him at this point.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun. Always a great time of year.
Have a good night, man.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Later. Good one. I always blame the old guy.
Yo,
Mr. Leeds.
What's he?
Hello, Dave.
How you doing,
man? How you been?
Great.
You don't write anymore.
Hey?
You don't send any letters anymore. What's going on?
I've joined the Foreign Legion. So
I like the look though. It looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Is it cold over there?
Well, it's winter. Cold is very relative. Our cold to you guys is ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to pull up. You got to zip it up to the neck, like
I know.
I'll tell you how cold it gets here, and we're like crying cold. Give me a sec. I've got to look it up because I don't know what you guys don't use metric system like the rest of the world.
Because you guys will end up catching up.
Yeah. All right. So it gets probably at its coldest. It's about 35.
Oof.
So that's like cold. 2 degrees Celsius, which is above zero. But that's like a really rare day. And if it's that cold, we are complaining like it's the end of the world.
Right. I would be
too. How hot does it get?
Oh, hot. Okay. The hottest would be maybe. So the average. I'll say the average in summer is about 96.
Oof.
Oh, that's average.
And then like a hot day would be
over 100.
About 105 plus. So you'd get that every now and then, but that's nothing really. It's not too bad.
Because looking you all bundled up, man, you're making me cold. Look at you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm already getting flashbacks of December.
I am cold, so I'm in the office and there's lots of tiles everywhere, so it's quite cold. So I am cold, but it's the other day I had the beanie on and everything. I had face guard. It was killing me. And it was probably only,
My God,
46.
we're sitting there sweating our asses off. It's hot as hell in New Jersey right now.
Others have been having like a heat wave over there.
It's been brutal, man. This has been usually like in August it gets like this. This has been like friggin' June. It's been 90s. It's been awful, man.
90, okay. So what's
And
that?
humid.
I know we put
90s
up-
and humid.
Yep.
Okay, 90s 32. That's like a mild winter day for us. That's
brutal,
like
man.
a mild summer. So yeah, it is relative. But yeah, I can imagine. As I said to Lauren in the chat before, it's like when you're not used to it, it's hectic.
It's crazy.
I remember when I went to Afghanistan and we come out of at Kandahar airport and I think it was like 52, and that was like getting punched in the face. The heat. It was just absolutely insane.
I can't do it.
It was just like, what is this? Like, we all live on the same planet. It's ridiculous.
So what's are you still a Cleveland Browns fan, or you've given up on them?
I've pretty much given up on life. No, I've given up on the NFL. I don't really pay any attention to it at all anymore.
What?
I only just I fell out of love, Tyson, you know what they say, like if you love something, set it free, and if it truly loves you, you'll find your way back.
So it's our job to bring you back, as we tell you. We have to work you back into this.
I love you guys and I love the chat, so that's why I'm here today. It's very, very rare that I actually tune in anymore because I'm quite busy at the moment, with the Foreign Legion. So I don't. Well, I a few months ago I did put myself into the portal of supporters because I gave up on the Browns when they were going to trade Myles Garrett, which they never did, obviously.
Right.
And then I came into the chat and I said I'm putting myself into the portal, but nobody bid for me, so I decided to just retire. I retired from the NFL.
I don't remember seeing that.
He gives up too quick.
No, I don't.
If the Browns have a good season, you're going to go back?
No. Done with them. I'm actually really interested to see how Justin Fields goes with a proper go.
Yep.
Because I've always sort of had a feeling that he could be quite good. Maybe not like top, sort of like along Jalen Hurts type of level of quarterback. Where
Super Bowl MVP. I'll take that.
But I'm talking about this term that everybody hates to hear, the game manager quarterback.
Yeah.
I think if Justin is given support and the ability to make mistakes that he's not thinking as the end of my career, I think he could be quite solid because we all know he's got the physical gifts of running the ball. So now I think it's just a matter of having an offense that's suited to what he can do, like skill-wise, and not being asked to, like if you're playing for the Bears, you're down 4 touchdowns, so you're the way that you're playing the game is completely different to if you're in the game. You guys know, so that's what the benefit of, say, a Jalen Hurts is that his defense keeps him in the game, which means he doesn't really have to carry the team completely on his back and win the game. And then
very good O-line too.
Most of the time they're playing from in front, right?
Yep.
So your psyche as a quarterback is very different when you're playing in a close game or in front, or if you're playing 3 touchdowns behind. And I think that hopefully if he's given an opportunity to play in an offense and with a team that at least keeps him in the game, that he's not asked to make some crazy plays, because that's when the mistakes come up. I think when he plays in structure and he plays within a team that's close, he could be successful. I don't know, obviously, but
I agree with you.
that's what I'm looking forward to, is that he gets a year to just. And I think I think the Jets played this one really good, really smartly, because they pounced on him before, like really early. So they made the decision real early in the piece. Like I think it was at the start of free agency when they signed him?
It was quick. Yep.
So that to me is already that's a sign of confidence. So you've already given Justin confidence by the fact that you've got him early, get him into your system, and then Tyrod's not a threat to him. I know everybody can't wait to see the backup quarterback, right? That's the old saying. But I think Tyler.
I don't think.
would
I
be
think.
good for them.
I think Jet fans are glad he's there, where it's not going to be a huge drop off if Justin Fields does, struggle a little bit. It's not like you're going to bring in Adrian Martinez or somebody like that. You're like, all right, we have a competent NFL backup there that if things go south or he gets hurt, the team's not going to fall apart. So I think I think Tyrod's a perfect backup for this team, especially with Justin Fields.
And he's a great teamate.
And to your point, Darren, it's like you're giving Justin Fields a good offensive line, which pays huge dividends, man. If he's not running for his life, getting his ass kicked, he gets confidence there too.
Yeah, what do you guys like? So obviously, let's put record aside, right? So obviously, you want playoffs, all that sort of stuff. What do you guys think is a marker that Justin Fields is somebody that you are going to continue with, or you got to go back to the draft? Like, what would you say is obviously record's going to play a part in what you say, but what do you want to see from him on the field?
Get Afram. This is your special. Afram, go ahead.
Ability to run the offense, competency. I want to see that he takes charge of that huddle and he knows what he's doing, makes the right plays, knows when to run if he sees that the play breaks down. I want to see a guy who's basically leads that team, because that's what they need. They need a leader at that position.
Game management, time management, consistency. Everything. Yeah. Like there's a lot of things, but I think I think we'll see it though. You'll know if this team is rallying around him and is buying into him, or he's like the outcast. You know what I mean? I think you'll know early on, especially with you can run the football. If he can't make throws consistently, you know what? After 6-7 weeks, listen, dude, this has been your rap since you've been in the NFL. This is still an issue. We may have to go somewhere else. So I think you'll see. I think I'm just so excited, man, because I think there's something there. I think there's potential there.
I do too.
It's just, and he's a hardworking kid. He stays out of trouble. He just, he's training his ass off. And it's like, he's an easy guy to root for. There's no headlines. He just wants to compete. So I'm excited, man.
He should have been.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying he should have been. He's the type of quarterback who should have sat for a year or two behind somebody and learned. But they were thrown to the wolves on a team that was horrible to begin with, in the Bears, and then he moves on to. And he was 4-2. He was playing decently with the Steelers. Yep. But I think, like someone said, that they promised that job to Russell, and he was the star.
That to me is your blueprint for what I was saying before, because the Steelers had they had a great defense that kept them in games, which meant Justin didn't have to play outside of the structure, try and make a play every down because the team's so far behind, and he was able to eke out wins. I think early on in the piece, that is the blueprint for the Jets, is to play not like the Steelers. Obviously, you have your own identity, but you get what I mean, is like keep the game close and not require Justin. And then as he builds confidence, I think then you can start relying on him to make plays, because I think, and I might be misremembering this, but I think one of the knocks on him was that he would obviously hold on the ball too long and get sacked. But why is he holding on the ball so long? Because he's trying to make a goddamn play.
Yep. It's
not as if he's just standing there like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I think when you look at it when he was with the Bears, it's like he's holding onto the ball because he's trying to make a play for his team. Now, okay, it could be a processing thing, but as you said, Afrin, maybe he's one of those guys that needed a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now he's had 2 years playing, 1 year sitting behind Russ. Who knows what he learned in Pittsburgh? But I think if I'm a Jets fan, I'm once bitten, twice shy because of what happened with Aaron. But and the other history of quarterbacks in the team. But I think I'd be cautiously optimistic that.
Yep.
I mean, if you get him to play like he played for Pittsburgh with a bit more improvement, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like you said it perfectly, man. You put him in a position where he has to make maybe 1 or 2 big throws a game, and that's it. He makes those throws, we win the game, we move on. Not 8, 7, 8, where it's like, all right, this game's on my back again. I got to carry the team, throw for 350 yards, 380 yards, like throw for 210, a touchdown, run for 1, let defense play defense, and that's it. Like I think there's definitely a formula there. And I think he can do it. I genuinely think he can do it.
I think for me, what I'd like to see from him this year, and maybe you'll see it in the preseason games, maybe you won't because of the vanilla offenses, and that is him using the running backs a lot more. in his checkdowns. So if he's got a pass and it's not there, to go to that running back and get rid of the ball, and him not thinking that I have to do everything myself. I've got all these weapons around me now, because like he does, he's got great pieces around him.
Yep.
So he should also feel comfortable in that as well. And the little that I have seen, like you said, Tyson, is I haven't heard squeak from the Jets, and that's got to be, from a fan base, I think you got to really like that.
It's perfect.
Is that you're under the radar, nobody's hyping you up, nobody's talking shit.
Yep. No T-shirt slogans, no headlines, nothing. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I saw your post the other day about the Garrett Wilson signing, the video you made about the statement signing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that says a lot to the Jets as well.
Sure does.
Like, if you're Garrett Wilson, you know that you like to sign with the Jets shows a lot of confidence in the organization. And really, everybody can sit out there, like the podcast and the media and whatever, can talk whatever they want to talk about the organization. But when you see things like that happen internally from a what everybody would consider an upper echelon elite player, that's got to give you confidence as a fan that, oh, maybe Aaron Glenn has made an environment that people want to stay with. With that said, gents, it was great seeing you again.
Good seeing you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Love the new studio, Tyson. Looks really good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate working on it.
Where did you move from without giving away your address?
15 minutes from where I was. Just a little nicer area.
Oh, yeah, because I know where that was. Yeah. New Jersey, New York.
I'm still in Jersey.
Buffalo?
I'm still in
Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, I still don't know where that is. But anyway, as always, people, big hug from Australia.
Wait a minute.
Deuces.
Be well, my son.
See, look at this. He called in on your training camp preview special, Afram.
Yeah. Well, it's respect.
See, now, congratulations on your move. Now we can get an up-close shot of me tossing my headset. No, this is a new year, Elmo. This is a new year. There'd be no cursing, no anger, no throwing things. I've matured this year now. I've matured. Those days are long gone, Afram.
Okay, we'll wait and see.
I barely cursed tonight. Have I cursed? I'm a new man.
No. But there's no games being played yet either.
It's true. I want to stream preseason games this year. I'm so excited. Like I'm looking forward to the whole experience.
Why not?
We can assess our young team, see what they have, see how well they're being coached. Yeah. See, everybody has no faith in me. I'm so disappointed. And look at you got supporters.
Johnny always says, I don't know why he says it, but
listen, man, I'm a new person. I've changed. I've matured that I understand it's just a game, and they have to just, take it easy. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. Just thought I want to talk to Afra and see what's going on with you guys. And it's funny. I'm cautiously optimistic about this year.
Yeah.
For the first time in really a long time. I mean, I was last year. I was hoping, you always hope. But I'm seeing so many things that I think are right. The fact that it is so quiet.
Yep.
I mean, the local cops, I live 10 minutes from their facility. The local cops out here must be crying because they used to, in the old days, used to keep them really happy, busting people for guns, drugs, Kellen Winslow in the parking lot, the whole 9 yards. And you're not hearing it. Seriously, the real thing that I'm seeing here is there really seems to be a plan there. There really seems to be, everything is being done with some kind of plan in mind. The players are picking up what they're doing. And I think that's something that's so different. And they're putting so much emphasis on coaching. You can see it. The number of coaches they have, the number of people, experienced people in there. Not necessarily
former players.
The players.
Former players,
again, who they re-signed and what they're doing. Signing these two guys was huge because this means that Glenn really probably pushed for it because damn well that the front office and the Jets, we have a track record of not signing our own people. And he must have pushed, and Eli must have been like, his head must have exploded.
Yeah, but you also at the same time, you don't want to, we don't like doing this, but you got to give Woody Johnson credit. He put the money out there. They spent the money. Like they weren't, these are two
again,
big
but
time
something like
contracts.
I'm saying is in the past, they didn't push back. I don't know. Again, I really don't know. And there seems to be a syncing between personnel, coaching, because probably Glenn is doing a lot. Muji is obviously doing this work, and how they structured the contracts was brilliant with the void years, with the way they did things. I think they did a really nice job with that. And that really gives me hope. When I go into, And again, the more I've been thinking about looking back at what it was like under Saleh with his coaching staff, we really didn't have a coaching staff. I don't know what the hell we had. And
Bunch of friends.
You know what's surprising about that? Saleh came from a business background. He violated every fucking principle of management that I can think of. How
Well,
you manage players, how you manage people.
Well, they
It's not
cowered.
all that much
They
different.
cowered to Aaron Rodgers was the problem. They brought in Aaron Rodgers and took over the show.
Yeah, but even
They-
before that, the fact that the lack of accountability, and I really think that like they drafted players and said, okay, we drafted you in the first round. You know, we know you've got skills. And they just kind of like, we expect you to bring yourself to your own level of enlightenment. You can't do that. They never had competitions. He had players that he liked, and that was it looked like. I mean, again, this is an outsider, but I think Glenn is serious. I think he's serious when he says every position is going to have competition. That if you're not playing up to your standard, I don't care who you are, you're not playing. When he turned to the receivers and said, I expect you to learn how to block, and if you don't, you're not going to get the ball. You know, I don't think he's bullshitting about that. This is not slogans. And from what the players are saying and what the players are saying, it sounds like they bought into it.
Well, I mean, but to your point, you know who bought into it was Sauce and Garrett Wilson. They bought into it,
and that's the amazing part because
especially Garrett, dude, because Garrett has had shit for quarterbacks, and now you got to buy into Justin Fields and this offense for the next 4 to 6 years.
And he had to deal. Think about it. He had to deal. By the end of last year, he was ready to leave. There's no doubt about it. Had they kept Rodgers, he would have been gone. He would have said, trade to me. He would have held that and said, trade me. I don't want to be here. So it's like, he's bought into it. He really, and whatever Glenn said to him, and the fact that we don't even know about it, none of this stuff is happening. We're not hearing, even with the contracts, we really didn't hear that much. We thought that they would be re-signed, but we didn't hear anything about those two things. It wasn't in the press every day. It wasn't like, speculating about it. It wasn't, which means stuff's not coming at it and the focus is there. And again, that's my big hope. It's all there. It's professional. This is not the same old horseshit. It really isn't. Now, again, could they fall flat on their face? Sure. Could they go 1-16?
Well, the one thing you made a point. I was talking to Afram about this before. It's like they're putting a lot of pressure on his coaching staff. A lot of former players, which is good. Which the players seem to like that. They're like, these guys have played the game. They're helping me fine tune my game, which is great. But it's like, okay, young team, impressionable team, a lot of competition. You got to coach them up. Which, listen, I love it. I love the approach. But you better be able to fucking coach.
Yeah, we hope. Obviously, that's going to be
a
the thing. But
disaster.
the other thing is too, looking at who Glenn chose as coaches. Obviously, he pulled people from Detroit. Engelhardt as the OC and stuff like that. But he's also pulled people that weren't there. People he knew other places. He's not pulling his buddies. He's not Robert Saleh. I'm going to bring all my buds in that I'm comfortable with. There's probably people there that he's.
I mean, if we're being honest, man, like, listen, I'm probably more positive than most Jet fans right now. If we're being honest, when they hired Engstrand, I'm like, oh shit, first time offensive coordinator, even though he's had experience in college and everything else. Then Steve Hyden I was like, my God, the offensive line coach, the tight end coach. But then you hear about the background, how closely Aaron Glenn worked with him. I mean, right after him, like, being honest, like, that's 2 hires with this young offense growing, a little bit risky that you're hoping panning out. We're kind of having faith in Glenn's relationship with them and his vision and working closely with them, but there's some risk with that.
Oh, there of course is risk. I mean, but things like, for example, having the other one that impressed me was having Scott Turner back there.
Yeah.
Because again, this is a guy. I mean, first of all, if he even has a tenth the knowledge his old man has, that right off the bat.
Right.
I mean, Norv Turner was not a very good head coach. I will admit that uphill and down dale. But as an offensive coordinator and as a guy that knew the league and stuff, very good. And there's a balance in there. I think there's enough looking at the coaching. There's a lot of it, and they're not relying on any one person. Doesn't mean it won't fail. You know what? Yeah. We won't know until we see them on the field. And there's a couple of things I want to see. Like I'm going to be at training camp. I'm going to be at this one Friday, be there next week. And the things I'm going to be looking for, it's not going to be watching, somebody throwing a ball and stuff. In training camp, even there, it's not necessarily that meaningful. It's fun, but who knows? I want to watch the coaching. I want to watch the coaches. Are they taking guys aside and teaching them? Something happens? Are they stopping and saying, hey, look, do this? If they're screwing it up, do they have them redo it?
Bingo.
Because that's something you didn't see with Saleh. And I know the difference between that and good coaching because I've seen it in the past with the Jets. I'd go to training camp. I used to be fascinated. Mike Westhoff cracked me up because he'd be working on special teams. He'd have these big goons on the offensive line, on the line, like in a punt play or something like that. And he'd sit there and say, well, they're seeing if the guy can punt the ball. No, he'd be sitting there kicking their feet into position, showing them what footwork was, where they should be, how they should angle it. This kind of detail. I saw it years before with Bill Callahan when he was the OC, the offensive line coach. Bill Callahan, if an offensive lineman did anything wrong, including whatever the hell they did with their stance, whatever the hell they did, he'd be over there hitting them on the shoulder pads and saying, pulling them aside or doing whatever. They were in there.
Yep.
I'm hoping I see the same thing. I want to watch Glenn because, you sit in Salah's training camp, he'd be sitting there with his arms folded watching, which is all great and good, but I haven't seen that since Rich Kotite. I mean,
but then this is the thing that we talked about many times is like attention to detail, accountability, and making do the shit right. Like I always go back. Like I'm like you, I go to all the practices too. Parcells, Bowles, Rex. I went to all these freaking practices, and the successful coaches had a rhyme or reason what they did, and they wouldn't accept half-ass play. They wouldn't accept mistakes, and they didn't care what player made the mistake. Like Parcells would rip Curtis Martin, he wouldn't care. Parcells would rip Keyshawn, anybody, Brian Cox, Mo Lewis, didn't matter who it was. You fucked up. We're doing it again, and we're going to just coaches. But we're going to keep doing it until we do it right. It wasn't like, okay, made a mistake, do it again. No. We're going to keep working this play until we get it right. And then as a team, we move on. If it lasts another half hour, so be it.
And it's funny, there's been a lot of talk about this with coaches, like, well, in the modern NFL, you can't have the Martinets, you can't have Parcells wouldn't do well in the modern. And it's probably true. When these contracts, the game has changed a lot, right? But there's still something there about being accountable. You don't have to be a Martinet. The guy yelling and screaming on the field, it's not going to work either. I mean, in all fairness, I love that kind of coach.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that Glenn isn't going to take him aside and say,
setting a standard. But no, you don't have to yell. You set a standard for your team. This is our standard. You have to be a good tackling team. And the best thing he said when I heard that he said was, how you learn how to tackle? You actually tackle. You tackle in practice. So you're not going to have, obviously there's limits to how many padded practice you can have, but we're going to hit each other. And there's going to be.
Well, that's another thing too. This is the thing about Glenn that I'm hoping. And again, this is just based on impressions. We don't know, but from everything that's been said about them, it's exactly what you're talking about. One of the things about Salah that drove me up the wall, and thinking about it now, even more so, he did everything afraid. They weren't hitting because he was afraid of injuries. And another thing I want to see from Glenn, I don't know if it's going to happen, but in preseason, I damn well want to see starters playing. Not every play, not every snap, but have them in there because you know what? We came into the season. I don't give a shit how much you practice, how many scrimmages you have. I don't care. If you're not playing under game conditions, it's not the same thing. Get them in there, get them playing, get them used to each other. How many times with the offensive line, they were playing musical offensive line. They had guys playing left tackle, right tackle. They didn't have that solid offensive line playing everybody in the position they're going to play in until like a week before the season started.
And that's the whole thing, though. It's like, after we can talk about this too. It's like it's about game preparation, like you have game-like situations, and that's why the Jets under the crunch were never good under pressure. They would fall apart. Didn't know what to do this. The time management, terrible game management. They just weren't. That's where, and like even Aaron Glenn, there was already been a taste of that early in mandatory minicamp where they were doing live, 7-on-7s, 11, like they weren't doing wasted drills. And the funny thing is, like, there were so many practices that I went to with Salah when I'm like, what in the fuck are they doing?
I had the same thing with you. You know what? It looked like, I mean, what I saw was a lot of calisthenics, a lot of like almost playing toss. I mean, I understand those drills are important. I saw a lot of drills and there's value to this. Don't get me wrong. I know the game well enough. I know the value of them, but they were doing a lot of that. But then they would do 7-on-7. They would sometimes do 2-minute drills, and watching it, I really didn't see much. Like the 2-minute drill was screw up. And did they go back and do the same thing again? No. Did they try to correct it? No. They just kept going. And it's like, you're putting a show on for the fans. I was talking to a guy about it, and he said to me, he said, look, but also understand that these public practices are very different than the ones they do, which is true. I mean, you're not going to see the real playbook. There's a lot of things you're not going to see there. But I said, yeah, but you know what? If you're doing that here, they're probably doing that in private.
It's probably standard, man. It's the way you practice. You can play. You can have a vanilla playbook and still be a very competent, physical, and disciplined football team. They were doing, and taking the referees out of practice was ridiculous.
Well, that was the one. I was just going to mention that. I mean, I have never heard it. It made absolutely no sense. This is like, okay, we got crime. So you want to cut down the amount of crime in the city? You get rid of the cops and you don't report crimes. You don't bother. You don't bother.
Problem
arresting
solved.
people. You don't bother. And you don't report the stats.
And all those soft practices, you could tell because the regular game, they're always playing from behind in the first half.
Yeah.
They never
And that was
prepare.
the thing. Again, scripted plays, right? So if you've got a scheme and you've got a plan, you're going to have good scripted plays. The Jets didn't. Even Gase did. And I mean, Gase was a crappy coach.
That was his best part of his game.
The scripted plays worked great. Everything else sucked. Couldn't adjust. And here comes the other one I'm looking to see. And again, you can't see it in preseason, unfortunately. What adjustments are they making? Or if we're looking in training camp and we get reports that somebody's having trouble. For example, let's say Stevens. I'm just going to make up somebody like Stevens at corner is a disaster area. So then you hear while they're trying him at safety, at least they're trying to adjust it. This is something Saleh never did. It was to say it's my way or the only way. He never made adjustments.
Excellent point.
I want to see that. I want to see it. And Ian came up with a really good point. I think it was Ian in one of his videos. He was talking about the Jets, right? And he said, inevitably, when the quarterback went under center, they were handing the ball off or an RPO, a play action, not RPO, play action. And he said, you know what? Opposing defense is ready. He said, why the hell is every running play going under center? He said, do it from a shotgun occasionally. Do it 50-50, mix it up, change it. And that's something I want to see too. This is what
you could tell by the personnel packages last year. We were calling play. Dude, I was drinking beer the entire game. I was calling the plays. I knew when Rucker came in, they were going a certain way. With the way Conklin moved, you knew the ball. Like if my dumb ass can figure it out, the defense, the team that actually studies them, they were so. It's just. But you're making a really good point here, man. And that's something it's like when they face adversity, how does he handle it? When they face, like making adjustments. And most importantly, this is one I'm really curious about, especially if there's a young guy, say an undrafted free agent or a rookie, shining in camp. Will he take the job, AV, heralded starter? Say if Aaron Smith comes in, lights it up. Are you benching Lazard and Josh Reynolds for him? Does Aaron Glenn? I hope he goes to it's truly about performance, not about paycheck.
The key there, exactly. And the key to that, all of that is Glenn holding true to what he said, what he's done. Because that's what he said. He said this all along. He said, no positions are guaranteed, which we knew under Saleh, forget it. There were certain players he'd play, no matter how bad they were, he'd play them.
Yep.
And I'll finish in a couple so I can give other people a chance. But that's the thing I'm seeing. All that's in there. Now, does he play it out? You can see it to a certain extent in training camp. You'll hear about it. You'll hear about players having trouble and stuff like that. How do they handle that? It's going to be quiet. It's not going to be the zoo it was. And again, I want to see, and again, when games one happens, the other thing is I want to see what happens that first week. If they come up on that field looking like the Jets did, like the opening game last year against San Francisco or something.
Sleepwalking,
and they're totally discombobulated. The offensive line was out of sync, everything. Then we'll know he's a bullshit artist because it means they weren't doing what he said he was going to do.
Then we blame Matt for him.
Yeah. Why not?
I think he's going to do it. I mean, for everything I'm reading on the guy and just reading his face and reading what he's doing, he's not throwing around a lot of crap. He's not throwing around his slogans. He's just saying, this is what we're going to do.
Dude, thank you for calling, man. Excellent call. Have a good night.
Take care.
He did great, man. That was an excellent call.
And if Smith is beating out these other guys, it tells you two things. The other guys didn't come to practice. They're not giving it their all. The incumbents should not be losing out to rookies.
Yeah, but if it is, like, just say AZ Thomas beats out Stevens. Yeah. You can't go to the locker room. Stevens is still going to start. If you're going to preach accountability and you got to earn every rep, and they're earning the reps, you're not giving it to them, then you're a used car salesman. Then you're full of shit.
Yeah.
So, Afram, what other thoughts do you have, man? This is your forum. This is your training camp, your finale here.
I'm just looking forward to see how this whole thing pans out. I like what they've done up to now, and everyone's got concerns. Yeah, rightly so. But we talk about Engstrom. He's never called an NFL call as an offensive coordinator before, right? Mm-hmm. But he's done it in college. But did you know that Ben Johnson never called an offensive play until they moved him into an offensive coordinator for the Lions too? But no one says anything about that. Yeah. And he had a much better team offensively at that point than we did. 100%. Yeah,
Now this
so,
comment I completely disagree with. I feel like from random man, I feel like Glenn has like significantly less pressure than coaches of the last few years, so he has room to make ballsy decisions. I think fans right now are so tired of first-time head coaches that a lot of people wanted a veteran. They wanted me included, Brian Flores, or somebody else that's been there, done it, been around a while. That they're gonna scrutinize the living shit out of Aaron Glenn. I don't think he's. I don't think he's gonna feel any pressure in terms of like his job. I think he's gonna coach the way he wants to. But I think in terms of pressure, I think the fan in me gonna put a lot of pressure on him. I think. Don't you think so, Afram?
yeah, no, but I go back to that. He has less pressure. He's got to be the same throughout the season. So if he's going to make a ballsy decision now, he's going to make one later on. He'll make one later on after that.
Yep.
He's got to be the same coach throughout, not to say, hey, I have no pressure, so I can do this, and that. Pressure, no pressure. You stick to what you know best, and coach these guys up. They're young, impressionable. That's the best time. You teach them the system, and you make these guys want to come to play for you, run through a wall for you. That's what you want to expect from this.
In terms of expectations, I think right now my expectation is at least 7 wins.
We won 7 last year.
I mean, this is like I understand you have a whole new scheme and you have Justin Fields, 7 wins. Like this, if this is a 2 or 3 win season, this is a problem for me. Don't give a shit. That's not like there's like even though nobody's saying AFC East title. I mean, the AFC East is minus the Bills. Is a lot of unknowns there. You know, we assume Vrabel and Drake May, okay, they're gonna be good. Tua and Mike McDaniel, okay, but you know, Tua gets banged up. You know, where they have Zach Wilson, the backup quarterback. Like to me, there's expectations. Even in a year, it's a kind of a reset year. 7 wins. Anything less than that, I'm gonna be annoyed. It's gonna be a problem for me.
I hear you.
If they have a 4-13. I mean, again, the caveat to that, well, they could be playing very well and losing 31-30 or something like that. Then it's okay. But to me, man, I'm not.
I don't think they'll be satisfied with that. I think
I'm not going through another 3 or 4 win season this year. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a reset. No, you better win more than that.
No, they got enough talent on defense to be good, and we'll see how well
they have talent on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Look what they just paid Sauce and Garrett, right? Everybody loves Breece Hall. People are very high on Mason Taylor. Everybody's saying they're going to have top 13 offensive line. Then you have Quincy Williams. There's freaking Pro Bowl talent on this team on both sides of the ball. That's enough to win 6 or 7 games alone. And then if you're very well coached, then you can go maybe to 8.
Yeah, and that's what they had. That's what they have now. Better than what they had last year, and they still won 7 wins.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me, it's like you look at talent and improve coaching. That to me speaks better results. It just has to.
Yeah.
So,
I think they can sneak a few games.
Why not?
You know, depends on how if the scheme works, the system works. Hey, look, Mike White's system. What's his name? The
Mike White.
Mike White. You know what's it? The LaFleur's system would work with everyone except for Wilson. You know, even with that offensive line. You know,
Yep.
This guy is a modern offensive.
Listen,
system.
if they can win games with Zach Wilson, they can win games with Justin Fields. Like they can find ways to scratch and claw, be disciplined, good special teams, good defense, and win 6 or 7 games. I'm telling you, dude. They're not winning 3 games. They're doing much better than that. And if it is a 3-win season, they better be. This stream will be bullshit again because I'll be out of my mind again. So, from any final words as we wrap up our training camp review, the team reports tomorrow. So you know what? Next week we're talking practices. We're talking about practice.
Practice. Yeah. No.
And I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Where can all your fans find you? I know you're a very busy man. How can they? What's their viewing?
No, I don't have any. I'm just like
you have Afterburners. You're on.
I'm everywhere. You just like to instigate things. I swear.
I don't instigate anything. I'm just asking. Their fans want to know. You have a lot of fans here. They need to know.
I go and I just support a few guys, and that's it. You guys, Jet Afterburners, Jets Worldwide with Snowball and Johnny. That's a three. How much more do you want?
Well, first of all, Afram, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Every Monday night, we'll be back 8 o'clock. Ian and I, every Tuesday, we rotate back and forth for 7 o'clock. each channel. Sundays will be streaming games, streaming preseason games. May have a little special Friday show coming up for previewing games. That's some little things in the works here, Afro. I'm keeping busy over here.
No, good. Everyone wants it. Hey, they show up. Look at
We're trying.
Want to talk to Jets. They're here for that, and it's
Tomorrow night will be on Jet Central's channel. So last week was here. Yep, 7:00 tomorrow, Ian's channel, and then we'll just keep bouncing back and forth. And as things happen, we'll keep adding stuff and figuring it out. So thank you guys for
Mondays, 7 on Tuesdays.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Next week.
J-E-T-S,